does the dog die is the question for the newest horror movie of 2025, Good Boy. Now, Good Boy is an interesting take with a dog as the main character of the film. And I think that is a new take on the genre that we have not seen before. So going in, you already have a unique start to what you're going to see in the film. Now, this film centers around Todd and his dog Indy, who relocate into an old house that it was occupied by a family member of Todd because he is dealing with some health issues. That is a center issue around this film, and you see that very early on. But what you start to see within this house are these kind of spirits that are making these appearances. And Indy picks up on it, senses what is happening, and instantly goes into a defense mode. But the big question centered around this entire film is, does it work? Is it a good movie? Now, I think when you're putting a dog as the main character, you're already issuing the challenge of making it work. Because that is something that is not necessarily a common thing to do. So having the dog at the center stage and right in front of the camera, I think actually works. Because this is the director's actual dog. So there are ways that you are able to make it work instead of finding a random dog or somebody you know's dog. But then you look at the overall plot. There were times where I thought to myself that Todd didn't even deserve this dog. It was just kind of the way that Indy was treated a little bit, and it just kind of was a little unsettling. But then we get to the issues that I really have. The first thing that really stands out is that this movie is an hour and 12 minutes. That is barely enough to be a full-length theatrical release. So in 72 minutes, you kind of have a little bit of a pro or con. The pro would be you don't have to sit in the theater a long time. But also, when you look at a 72-minute runtime, that leaves a lot less time for unneeded scenes and situations to come into play. But then you look at the con side, and you really wish that some of the things being talked about were explained more. The spirits, what are they? What is their purpose? Why are they there? And so you look at it from the perspective of, is this the same thing that harmed his family member? Or is this something completely different? And so I feel like when you are being left out of that key information, it does make it more difficult to follow. I also really think that this movie being billed as a horror movie kind of puts it in the wrong genre because there really wasn't anything scary. There was nothing that made you on edge, feel weary about what was going to happen next. You just kind of sat there and let the movie flow. And that's not always a bad thing, but in a horror movie, you want to be scared. But then let's look at it overall. For me, Good Boy is a 3.8 out of 5. I think it works for the most part, but it does have some flaws that you wish could have been redone or reconfigured to make sense. But this is a start for the director. So with this, I think it's going to give him the opportunity to have a larger amount of money coming in for his films and also be willing to take the risks that others may not feel comfortable doing. So for me, Good Boy is a 3.8 out of 5. It is an interesting movie, not really scary. Make sure to check it out if you can. I know some theaters only have it 1 to 2 times a day. Mine only has it once. So go check it out if you can. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button as we approach 900 subs. And stay tuned for more coming up this week.